This week on The Deck, we're talking about replacing or maintaining or maybe even just beginning a new deck project as we are all looking forward to those warmer temperatures. Joining us, of course, Jamie Brenham and Chattanooga Exteriors. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I'm looking forward to warmer temperatures. Are you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about decking today because we are wanting to get outside and enjoy the weather. So talk about what we need to know about replacing or maintaining decks.
Yeah, so the first thing you need to ask yourself is, do I have the time or do I have the ability to maintain a deck? So most people, that's the biggest thing I hear about wood is, you know, I'm having to maintain it, I'm having to seal it, I'm having to go and do all this stuff to it, and, you know, more or less the deck owns me than I own the deck. So I'm spending, you know, 2 or 3 weekends a year out there pressure washing, staining, you know, cleaning, all this maintenance that you have to do with a wood deck. So when you look at that and you're planning what deck you want to build or replace it with, just think about that. And if you don't want to do that, then composite is your answer. Because there's, you know, basically it's you hose it off and you clean it, you know, pressure wash it once a year, if that, depending on your environment.
And a lot of times the composite lasts longer than a traditional wood deck anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. Most new pressure treated decks that have been put on the last 10 years, they'll typically last 10 to 15 years, where composite decking will last you 25, 30 years, before you have to replace it. So definitely the composite's the way to go for a long-term value. Really depends on what you want to put into it.
All right, my wood deck is going on 10 years, so now I'm really scared, which we've talked before.
Yep.
I want to move to a composite deck. So if there's someone who has an existing wood deck and they want to switch to composite, what is that process?
Yeah, we just come out and give you an estimate. We'll tell you, hey, what colors to choose from. There's a lot of different boards to choose from now. So the composite went from like, hey, we had one board to choose from, and it was this gray, you know, and then we introduced a brown, and so now there's like 18 to 25 different colors to choose from, and so it's a great time, and they really have done a lot with the looks of them, where they were just a solid board. Now they've got streaks in them, and they look like really exotic hardwoods. So when you're looking at that, we can plan that deck out for you, and then really say, okay, what are your plans for this deck? Are you going to entertain on it? Do you want to have a grilling area? Do you want to have, you know, what are you going to be doing?
Right, are we going to do a fire pit? Absolutely. And so that's one thing I love, is because you can really customize a plan to have multiple levels, multiple entrances. We don't have to just stick with what we've always had.
Yeah, I mean, so when you're replacing, you know, sometimes the frame of your existing deck is great, and so we can just take the deck boards off, and in that time we can expand it, do a different design. We can put, you know, some people want multiple entryways into a deck, some people just want one entryway. So do you want a grilling area? I mean, I've done a lot of areas where we've sort of had this dining area, and then over to the side we have this grilling area that sort of sets it aside, special designation, you know, so we have gas, you know, grills, we have, you know, smokers, we have all sorts of things that we can put alongside there and really make it a destination for somebody.
So we live in a really kind of mountainous area, and I know from experience being on some of your job sites that you do a great job of doing decks, you know, on those mountainside homes. What is that process that, I mean, makes you think that maybe the deck isn't that heavy, so to speak, or talk me through that?
No, it actually is, it's actually heavier, but it's the framing that we use. It's the, you know, building it to code. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it where the code, the building code that is, has changed so much. You know, the deck that you have right now, when we would reframe it or put new decking on it, we would have to upgrade it and add some framing to bring it up to code. So a lot of that depends on, you know, what you want it made out of. So there's several different options for the framing now. So there's a steel frame or wood frame. So depends on the load that you want to put on it and the longevity of it.
And that's all to make sure that we're safe and
Yes.
that you stay on top of that and take care of us.
Yes. Yep.
All right, and I always have to ask this question because, being a dog owner, my first concern with when we started talking about composite is my dog going to scratch it?
Yeah. No, so they're very scratch resistant. There's some that are more scratch resistant than others. So, we would talk about that at our meeting and say, okay, this is the best board for you and your pets. So there's a lot of things that go into it. It's not just one board fits all type mentality. So we really take the time to sit down with you and discuss your needs and wants, both today and long term. So we give you things to think about. So hey, 10 years from now, do you have kids now, or are they going to be gone? Or are you having kids and they're going to be out here crawling around? So think about a kid crawling around on wood. He have a handful of splinters and things like that. Right. So just think about those things when we go through the process.
All right, how do we get started with you?
Yeah, so you can come down and visit our showroom at 179 Ham Road. That's in the North Shore of Chattanooga. Or you can visit our website, ChattanoogaExteriors.com, or call us at 805-3800.
All right, Jamie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I know I got to convince my husband, but eventually I will get the deck I want. All right, we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.